G'day folks, it's Jimmy here again with another one of my music industry tips videos. This is my dog Bianca. She snores. Hello. She snores, so there will probably be some snoring coming through on this video. Today we're going to talk about image, controversial topic, image, and what you're doing in the rehearsal room when you're writing songs. Let's go! Okay, so today's video, image, band look, the band image. Now this will be, I reckon this will probably be quite a controversial topic because there's a lot of people out there who have very different opinions on image and band look and that sort of stuff. This is my opinion. I am not an expert. I am just trying to help. This is what I've seen over quite a few years and just my opinion on things. Now, like it or not, you need an image of some sort for your band. We live in a multimedia age. I say it all the time. And the old adage of letting the music do the talking and letting the music do everything for you, it's no longer relevant. It really was. It used to be. It was all about the music. But if you go back over the years and have a look at everyone from the 60s through to now, all the biggest bands in the world, they all had an image. All of them, every single one of them. You can disagree all you like, but this is my opinion. They all had an image. You need a look. You need to look unified. You are a band. You are entertainers. Your songs are only part of the picture. They are a big part of the picture, right? If you don't have good songs, then it doesn't matter. Well, that's not really true because there's a lot of bands out there with crap music that have been very, very famous. But anyway, you've got to have good songs, okay? But it's only part of the picture. Now, you do not have to go over the top. I am not talking about having a hard rock band dressing like Poison, okay? Or Cinderella. I'm not saying that. Have a look at a band. I'll give you an example, and I'll put a photo up here. Have a look at a band like Rammstein. I hope I pronounced that right. Have a look at the keyboard player. He looks like this. Now, do you reckon that that bloke gets off stage and walks the streets dressed like that? Of course he doesn't. He just walks around with normal clothes, I'm sure. But when he's on stage, he's there to entertain. So he wears something pretty ridiculous. And the guy walks on a treadmill for an hour and a half playing keyboards. That's not necessarily what he looks like when he's in the supermarket buying a carton of milk or a loaf of bread. I'm sure he's not dressing like that. But when you're in your band on stage and you're performing, then you do need some kind of image. Now, you don't have to look like him. You can look however you like. You can wear a pair of black jeans and a leather jacket and a t-shirt. That's fine, as long as the band looks unified, okay? All the biggest bands in the world have an image. You need to talk about it as a band. You may have members in your band that don't care about image, don't care about look, and think that it's not important, okay? You need to work on those people gently, because what I've found is more than likely a lot of people that are like that are too scared to embarrass themselves by looking ridiculous or whatever. You don't need to look ridiculous, okay? those people that are a bit concerned about that kind of thing, they just need your help. Your look does not need to be embarrassing or ridiculous. It's up to you what you want to do, and it's got to sort of relate to the music that you're playing, right? There's no point being in a prog band and having your hair teased up and dressing like Poison in spandex, right? Of course, ridiculous. So you've got to think about, the music that you play. You look at other bands that are playing a similar genre of music to you and how they might be presenting themselves. And you don't want to look exactly the same as them. You want to have your own look. But it's important to look at what other bands are doing and how they're doing it. I think once you find a look that you're comfortable with, people that aren't really into it, that are worried about image and stuff, they'll kind of start to come around once they're comfortable with what they're wearing and how they're looking. And in the end, you'll find they'll probably embrace it with a bit of encouragement. And you can incorporate that into your offstage look as well if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a minimum, when you're performing or you're doing photos, photo shoot, videos, you've got to have some kind of image sorted in those situations, okay? Bands getting up on stage in, tracksuit pants and a bloody ripped singlet and whatever, I don't know. Look, it may suit the style of music that you're doing, I don't know, but I just think it's a bit lazy, That's just my opinion. But again, I'm not saying under any circumstance that every band needs to look like some glam band from the 80s. No, okay? You've just got to be unified, all the members of the band. It's really not that hard. Anyway, that's the first point. Second point, singers. Now this is one for singers. And this is just my opinion. Under no circumstances should you use cheat sheets on stage for your lyrics. Don't put it on a music stand in front of you at the front of the stage. Never do that. I do not understand why bands do that. There's not many out there that do it, but there's a few, and come on. I reckon it's the most unprofessional thing you can do, really. If you're doing a cover and you can't remember the words, call it out before you play the song, and don't play it if you're doing a cover. If it's an original song, make up the words on the spot, okay? Because mumble if you have to. 99% of the people out there will not know, especially if it's an original song. Most people will not know if you've forgotten the words and you make them up as you go along. Maybe mumbling is not the best thing to do, but you've got to try and improvise, and it's something that you should be ready for. I know more than anyone, my memory is shocking. And I have forgotten words on stage more times than you can think. And I end up, especially when it's an original song, I end up making them up on the spot, or scatting or something, scatting the words out.
And I just talking to the mic, and I scat, and I make stuff up.
You scat?
It's better than la la la.
Yeah,
We haven't done that yet. La 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 la.
That's called
I scat.
scatting?
Yeah, and then I listen back, and I'll hear words in it.
Yeah, because
Swear to God.
the music.
Most of the time people don't know. Those that do pick up on it will probably laugh, and that's okay, because they know. You're human, you're not perfect. Things happen. So if you forget the words, don't stress about it. Just try to improvise. Either make something up on the spot and, or mumble. Don't mumble. But don't use cheat sheets. Learn the song. Don't be lazy, okay? If you've got some reminder words, maybe, take to the stage floor. I've done that in the past when we've been doing new songs and I can't remember the words. And I'll write a couple of lines in big black texter and stick it on the floor. And if I need to look down at it, I look down at it, and hopefully it triggers, the rest of the words for you. So you just glance at them. You don't bend over and look. Don't be lazy. Learn the song. keep practicing the song until you learn it, and then you won't have any problems. One last thing, guitarists, bass players, drummers, keyboard players, triangle players, whatever else, at rehearsal or when you're in a songwriting session, do not noodle. When people are trying to talk in a rehearsal room and you're sitting there with your guitar going, or you're on the drums going, do you know how annoying that is? It is really, really annoying for people that are trying to talk in the rehearsal room, whether it's about, you know, what they did on the weekend or whether they're trying to write a song. People that are noodling, God, man, does other band members' heads in. Don't do it. Don't stuff around on your instrument if you're trying to have a discussion in the room. It will drive everyone crazy. It creates tension. Then there's miscommunication and people end up getting angry. And don't do it during a break either, unless there's no one in the room. If everyone takes off out the room to go and, you know, have a chat out there or whatever, and you're in there by yourself, then yeah, go for it. Go and noodle, do whatever you want. But when you're having a meeting and you're talking and stuff, I can't say it enough. Guitarists, singers, bass players, drummers, keyboard players, tambourine players, triangle players, whatever, just don't noodle. Listen, put your instrument down for 5 minutes and listen to what's going on. It might just help you write a wicked song. That's today's tips. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Add any comments you like to the discussion below. Let's get a conversation going. As I always say, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to help and give some advice on what I think is going on. So thanks a lot for watching, and there'll be another video soon. Cheers!